Welcome everybody, this is the Microsoft 365 Power Platform community call, typically with Microsoft community speakers, but this is still about those community takeover weeks during summertime. So historically in July and August, we have not actually had this Microsoft hosted call, but this time we actually have that because we did handle a lot of community demos and signups for a lot of people. So we wanted to get them scheduled as well. And we do have a awesome set of Microsoft presenters today as well. Now, today is August 19. My name is Ayça Baş. I'm from Microsoft as a Principal Product Manager on Microsoft 365 areas and working closely with Power Platform as well. Now, we do have a few microphones enabled still. We need to get that one fixed. David, can you help me so I don't need to do things? Thank you. Now, let me go to the following slides and we get moving on the actual agenda of today. So today we will be going through the latest updates and news on the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform, typical setup of all of the different things, what is happening. The latest news across Microsoft blogs is happening. We'll have a group mode, picture mode, and then Ayça is going to do a integration Azure AI Foundry agent with Microsoft 365 Agent SDK. Really cool setup on making AI part of the Microsoft 365 experiences. And then Bruce from a community side, because we are in a community call takeover status during the summertime on this call as well, is going to show his submission within the SharePoint Hackathon earlier this year, which was EcoGuardian's homepage. And this was one of the really cool SharePoint Hackathon submissions, showcasing what you can actually do with custom portals. So awesome stuff over there. Now, before we go there, a few slides which we always kind of go through, recapping things. Yes, we're showing some of the slides which you might have seen in the past, but it's important for the new audience as well. We're going to speed up a bit on these slides for sure, so we don't spend too much time on them. But that's the classical slide on showing all of the different assets which are available. All of the recordings of these community calls are in the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel, where we have also a lot of other videos as well. We do publish a lot of content there, not optimized for the YouTube algorithms, optimized for you to consume the content. So there has been already a lot of extra videos on that channel already this week, and even more coming up later this week as well. LinkedIn, open source sample galleries, open source initiatives, a lot of stuff. If you go AKMS Community Home, Community MS, you'll actually find all of the different assets and URLs and things which are available for you to get advantage. Now, we do have a lot of community calls. This is one of them. As said, this is the Microsoft 365 Power Platform community call weekly with Microsoft speakers during summertime. This is community, including community demos. Typically, it's only Microsoft demos as well. On top of that, we have Power Platform monthly community call happening tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Same time tomorrow is the Power Platform monthly community call, where we have 3 different cool community demos coming up. David is hosting on that one, really cool demo as well. Office Adding monthly community call is happening as well. And then we have the Thursday series, which is either Microsoft 365 Power Platform community bi-weekly call, which is bi-weekly call, or SharePoint Framework bi-weekly call. We're potentially doing some changes in here in the future, so we might be actually just simplifying the storytelling that the Thursday 7 a.m. call is always the same call, and it's open for community demos. And then we're going to flip-flop a bit about what's being covered in those calls, but it's open always for every single week on Thursday 7 a.m. for community demos. That's kind of the key message on that one. Every single Thursday 7 a.m. is either one of those calls, but most likely they're going to be merged in the future. All of the calls are available for downloads at community calls URL, and you can always catch up with Meetup on following up on what's actually happening in future. Now, we do welcome a lot of community demos in many of these calls, like mentioned. So this is a great way of, for example, getting your MVP status if you're looking to get an MVP from Microsoft, or maybe you want to get renewed as an MVP from Microsoft. These call demos do actually count. So the MVP leads, including me, one of the MVP leads from Microsoft, is watching all of the contributions based on these call demos as well. So great way of getting acknowledged and visibility, and also practice your presentation skills. Now, if you don't feel super comfortable on doing these demos and everything else, you can ask help. We do have a ways of actually helping you. We can review your slides before. We can even have a one-to-one session on helping you to get started on those demos. So please do sign up at Community Request Demo Forum. There's a lot of assets available in learn.microsoft.com for all of the different things, Copilot and Copilot Studio and Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. So please do check out that one. We also have a lot of samples available in our unified sample gallery at AKMS Community Samples. Really great way of getting started on knowing what you can actually build or use within the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. This sample gallery includes also, among other things, prompts. So prompts how to adjust the behavior of Copilot, Copilot Studio, and AI. So really good examples of how things are evolving. All of the weekly prompts are also published in the sample gallery. Now, this sample gallery is also available as an MCP server. So this is a great way of actually getting familiar with what is an AI, what is the Copilot, how to extend Copilot Studio or agents. So you're able to tap in, for example, your Copilot or GitHub Copilot directly to the sample gallery MCP, and then you're able to actually get inputs and like suggestions based on those samples. So really, really great way of testing out how AI can be beneficial for you as well. Now, as you find the sample, or you find the thing what you're looking for, or you maybe are considering contributing as a sample, and you might be wondering, how would I actually do that? That's why we have Sharing is Caring initiative, and David Warren, directly from LA, is going to explain what this is all about.
Yes, live from Hollywood. No, not really, but somewhere in Southern California, everybody. We are so excited because we're finally getting close to getting the date scheduled for this. I know everybody's been on vacation for summer, so appreciate your patience. But what is Sharing is Caring? It is a program that provides hands-on guidance. What does that mean? It means that we're going to join a live Teams call together, and we're going to learn together. It's going to be hands-on. It's not recorded, so it's a safe space, and we're going to do things like demystify GitHub, and what are all those terms like blame and fork and raw and pull request mean? We'll cover it all together with you. We're getting folks from the community involved. So Stephanie and Todd are getting involved. Hugo and I are always going to be there. And we are excited for bringing in new sessions as well. So we appreciate all your patience. We're going to get that scheduled out soon. But once you do contribute, we want to recognize you in the award-winning, best in class, by the way, program that you all helped make possible. That is our recognition program powered by Credly. These are real and accredited badges that show off all the difference that you're making in the community. They are real, they are accredited, they show that you are contributing in a way that others are not, and they're also fun. So we're in the middle of superhero season. You see that Porcupine Rises badge, that is the bonus badge. We got about 7 now that have already achieved that bonus badge. You just need to submit 4 contributions or earn 4 badges from 7 total contributions over the course of multiple months. So check out ak.ms/community/recognition. It is absolutely no cost, 100% free. We cover the cost. All you got to do is opt in once, and we will track your contributions and recognize you. And again, by the way, just want to thank you all again. Credly recognized this community as a best-in-class community because of all the hard work you all put in. So thank you so much. That's back to you in the Finland studios.
Excellent. Thank you, David. Finland and Helsinki taking over. Good to be back from the summer break. This is really good. Super excited. Thank you, David, on that one. And again, we will promote again. If you haven't seen the reference point, best in class thing, we will put that in the social media within this week as well. So really, really cool stuff as we're getting acknowledged, as you are getting acknowledged with your work being part of the best in class community as well, which is awesome. Now, about the events, TechCon 365, brilliant event series happening in the US, Seattle, Atlanta, Dallas. Seattle already happened in June. Atlanta is happening actually pretty soon, August 11th to 25th. That does not seem right. It was last week. The timing is not a bit off on that one. It's not August 11th to 25th. It's August 11th to 15th, and it's already done. So just to be clear on that one. Yeah, so don't go to Atlanta for TechCon this week. It's already has happened. But in November, we have Dallas happening, so don't miss that one opportunity as well. Now, on the Power Platform Conference, that's happening in October 28th to 13th in Las Vegas in MGM, brilliant venue, so familiar venue from last year as well, and from the Microsoft 365 conference. So that is the same location. Then we have the Ignite happening in November 17th week in San Francisco, California. Great opportunity to get involved as well. This will be hybrid setup, so you don't have to be in person. You can also join on those sessions online as well, just by registering at ignite.microsoft.com. Then in December, we have the ESPC, which is Microsoft 365, AI, security, IT admin, a lot of different topics on that conference. Awesome conference at SharePoint. More details on that one, SharePointEurope.com. That's happening on 1st to 4th of December 2025. And then already next year, we have ECS as an European Collaboration Summit dates available. That's happening in the 5th to 7th of May in Cologne, Germany. So really big conference, massive conference that happened in, where was it? It was in Düsseldorf this year, and now it's in Cologne, which is a 15 minutes train ride from the Düsseldorf, so super close by as well. Now, we also have a lot of other events happening all around the world, and you can get all of those events at communitydays.org. So that is the location where the event coordinators can get their event listed, and then it's getting promoted on that side as well. So a lot of different events happening in US, Europe, Asia, and all of that. So please check out all of the different locations which are available for you to join and see other people within the community. Now, during this week on the news site, it was a relatively quiet week. It is still a summer period for many of the for the Microsoft Teams, but few news here and there, and even more news available later this week as well. I do know some of the things because I'm working on some of those things which are going live later this week. So really cool as well. Now, in this call, we also typically remind you on the great opportunity of sharing and taking advantage of our prompt library. So if you go AKMS PMP prompt library or you use our sample gallery, you can actually find great example prompts from our community. And these are super popular, used by a lot of people all around the world. And every single week, we also acknowledge the week prompt of the week. And this week, that's coming from Adam Besenza. And the prompt is about being a highlights assistant. So this is something which you might actually use on every single, for example, Friday to collect the summary of that week, what you have done. At least for me, every single year or every single quarter or half a year, I'm being asked to do, what have you done within this fiscal or within this half? And having that kind of a summaries available by AI-generated summaries available will help me to remember what was the highlights, what I've done within every single week. Really cool option to be available. Now, before we go to the actual stars of the day, as in demos, starting with Ayça, let's actually do a quick group photo. So let's go to the Camtasia. Let me flip the together mode in here. Let's move that one there, and let me start the Camtasia recorder. That is good. Let's not flip the scene. I think the yellow, this is good. I can see the Lego man here. It's Anthony. Anthony, that's really good. That's really good. Am I here as well? Let me put the camera up 1 second. And now I'm messing around with my, oh, there we go. There is my Camtasia. There we go. 1 second. First time of the year. Here we go. Now I can put my camera on here as well. We still have time for people to join. I'm here. Where did I land? I land on the front row. So a few more seconds. Let's wait. A few more seconds. We're not quite yet recording, but I can see the Lego man there. Let's start the recording. A few more people coming in. Let's start. 3, 2, 1. Let's do the hand waving, everybody. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for being part of the awesome community recognized by many other organizations as the best in class. So thank you for being here, and hopefully we'll see you in the future as well. Awesome person in the front row as well. That was a great great thing on the front row, and we got that one in the GIF as well. We're going to share the GIF in the social media after the call. So let me put the camera off. Let me stop recording and move you all in here. So let's then go to the real stars of today. So real stars are Ayça and Bruce. Ayça is going to start by focusing on the Azure AI Foundry agents with Microsoft Agent SDK. Sounds a bit complicated. It's much simpler than you think, right, Ayça?
Yes, exactly. Thanks, Vesa. Let me share my screen and get started right away. We have a lot to do today, so I don't want to waste any time. Let me know if you can see my screen. You should see a slide.
I can see the screen. Yes, take it away. All good.
Okay, perfect. So this is a part of the series we started early in July. This is the second session we are actually organizing in this topic. So the first session covered the first exercises under Build Your Own Agent with Microsoft 365 Agents SDK and Semantic Kernel. It's all available in Copilot Developer Camp, and it's actually a new set of labs. So that's why we are doing this series and completing all the exercises together with you live. So before we jump into the topic today, I want to highlight that Copilot Developer Camp is a set of videos, hands-on labs built for anyone who is interested in building, extending Microsoft 365 Copilot. So you can find any type of agent in Copilot Developer Camp, and you can choose your own pathway to get started building your own agent for Microsoft 365 Copilot. And we have a huge map for you in the beginning of Copilot Developer Camp for you to understand and exercise what are the requirements you have and which one is more suitable for you. So you can basically decide which pathway to go for. In today's session, we will particularly follow the coder build, and the channel is for custom engine agent. We are actually using the BMA labs in this session particularly. So BMA labs include Microsoft 365 Agents SDK. Just quickly, just to remind you what it is, and if you catch up with the first session of this series, you will see we also talked about it a little bit, but today we will actually use it. So you will see hands-on why we actually need Agents SDK at all. But Agents SDK is the way for you to build your custom agent for Microsoft 365 Copilot, but not just that. You can also publish the same agent in Teams, in different channels that is provided by the SDK. And the good thing about the Agents SDK is you can bring any model of your choice. It can be Azure or external model you prefer, or and also on top of that, you can build your own orchestration layer. That means that you can actually add semantic kernel or any other orchestration framework you like to use, and you can design the entire thing customly. That's why we actually call the agent custom engine agent, because you're building everything from scratch and you're designing enterprise-ready architecture. Having said that, it's not as complex as it sounds, and we will have a look how you can actually get started building one of those. Quickly, a recap before we jump into the demo. We are basically building an agent that can communicate with multiple channels, including Teams, Copilot, custom web, email, and multiple other channels like Meta and all of those available for you already. You can publish the single agent in multiple places. And the way to build this is actually bringing your orchestration, bringing your own model. And this can be any orchestration like semantic kernel, LangChain, as I mentioned. It can be any model. It connects with AI Foundry very well. And you can bring other services from Azure AI as well. And at the same time, you can actually connect with Copilot Studio too. So if you build an agent or if you build a plugin in Copilot Studio, you can also bring that into Agents SDK agents too. So quickly, let's get started actually integrating our Azure AI Foundry agent into Copilot Chat using M365 Agents SDK. Okay, let me go to my Windows, and quickly I will show you what we're going to do today. So the purpose of today is, first of all, if you're interested in seeing the step one, we already have a video available in the community YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check that out. And I highly recommend you to have a look at that if you didn't see that already. The first exercise is actually for preparing your agent in Azure AI Foundry. Azure AI Foundry has a really great place, which is called Agents Playground. This is a really great place for you to design your own agent. You can build custom instructions, which we did. You can also bring any data you want, and that's what we did as well. We actually integrated with some documentation and also we use the local vector store for that. And I can quickly show you what we did actually previously. So this is Azure AI Foundry, and we built our own agent here. We had the custom instructions, and we also added the vector store. We have 6 files inside, and this is basically the agent that can help me with anything related to Contoso HR-related queries like performance review, healthcare, wellness, employee rights, etc. So if I ask, like, tell me, I'm not able to type. Tell me about my perks, then this is supposed to reply back to me with all the details. So the today's purpose is basically bringing this experience into any channel we want. We will test today's experience in Microsoft Teams because we can actually test the same agent in multi-channel. And in the following, the third community call in the series, we will actually show you how you can bring this into Copilot chat. Okay, let's get started. So that means we actually have the agent working in the Foundry, how we can bring this into ProCode. So we're going to use Visual Studio for that. And if you're interested in following by the exercise, you can just go to BMA 2, and we will complete 2 and 3 today, hopefully. And I will go ahead very quickly to Visual Studio for that. So we will create a new project. And in the new project template selection, you have to search for Microsoft 365 agents. And you can type here, but I already have it available because that's all I use. I will just say HR agent. But the recommended name is Contos HR agent. I already have that, so I'm not typing that all long. And today we are going to build EcoBot. That means we will only have a really simple traditional EcoBot structure where it does nothing but echoes what we type. So that means we actually have a bot folder right here, and we have EcoBot CS. It's a very traditional bot. If you work with bot framework already, you will know that it has. So first of all, we have conversation update, and we have on activity on message async. The first one basically sends us the welcome message if user is new, member is added. And the second one basically does whatever we want. This one does turn context, send activity async, and it directly returns whatever I text. So let's go and test this one. First, so if you hit start from scratch, if you build something right away using Agents Toolkit and hit start, that's going to bring you the Agents Playground. So this is M365 Agents Playground, and this is basically replicating the entire experience in Microsoft Teams, but you don't have to log in or do all the complex authentication stuff. So as you can see, agent welcomes us, and when I say hello, then it basically repeats what I say. That means that this agent doesn't even have AI or orchestration. It doesn't have any setup in the background. Okay, so today our purpose is to integrate this agent with all things semantic kernel, all things AI, etc. But before I do that, I want to showcase where is the Agents SDK. So Agents SDK is right here, Agents Builder. And if you can extend the dependencies under HR agent packages, so agents.hosting.asp.NET Core is actually our Agents SDK. That means the foundational messaging in between agents to any channel is actually the Agents SDK's responsibility. Okay, let's go ahead and start adding some AI bits, which are the more exciting things. First, I will add a semantic kernel so that I can start basically going into complex integration. What I will search for is right here, because I searched this before. Make sure you click in include pre-release. We will select semantic kernel agents Azure AI and install the pre-release package. This will bring us all things AI, and it will help me connect with my agent in the Azure AI Foundry. I've already built my agent. I just want to have this experience in the channels I want. Okay, we already have the NuGet package. The next thing we will do is go to program.cs and basically initiate our semantic kernel. We should do that right before we build the app so that semantic kernel will be in it. Okay, let me paste it here. Oh, the complexity of Windows and Mac is actually pretty harsh. Let me try this. Paste. No. One more minute. Sorry about that. I guess I will type this one real quick. So this is actually add kernel, and we are good. Okay, up. Okay, so we added semantic kernel right before build. And the next thing we will do is basically we'll add a bunch of classes in our agent so that we can handle the files, conversations, etc. So the first thing I will add is a class called file reference. And this is going to help me with citations. And I really need to add this here. Let me try again. Hopefully this time it works. No. Okay, I'm having a keyboard issue. Apologies for that. Okay, then you're gonna have to either type this or I will actually show you the previous app I had, because if I type it, it will take real long. I think it's best if I just show you how you can achieve this. Okay, the next thing we do is basically adding the file in our agent. File reference. This is only for our citation. We have file ID, name, code, citation. As I mentioned, the agent we built in the Foundry side has 6 documents. So if we reference any of them, we should be able to do the proper citation. The second thing we add in the agent is actually conversation state extensions. This is pretty important because the conversation state also has the thread ID, and the thread ID is necessary for us to connect with our agent in the Foundry. It's in the really base of the agent. If you go to the Foundry, you will actually see that each conversation is kept as a thread, and we have the thread ID. To be able to communicate with the user, we should create a new thread ID every time. And the following, the classes, we actually after you add the classes, the next thing is to only update the EcoBot. And there is not much to update here other than connecting with our existing agent. We first get the project client. We create the project client using the persistent agent client. And the second thing we do is actually to get the agent ID, which is necessary for our client, we create these private properties. So these are already available in EcoBot. The first thing is a conversation update, the second thing on activity. But what we actually add here is 2 things. The first one is the project endpoint, which is available in Azure AI Foundry. If you go to overview, you should be able to see the Foundry project endpoint. This is the endpoint we actually need in our source code. And the second thing we need is the agent ID. And agent ID can be found under your agent. If you go find out your agent, this is actually the agent ID you should copy in your project too. And here, in terms of the client, we are actually using Azure CLI credential. I already started that. So I already did AZD login, AZ login Azure to be able to connect my Azure resources. And the next thing is we keep the welcome message as it is. We only update on message async here. And what we do here, instead of just sending any message we want, we start the streaming. We get the agent definition using the agent ID in the Foundry, and then we bring our agent here using the Azure AI agent. So that means any message user sends goes to AI Foundry agent, and basically we retrieve all the responses from the AI Foundry agent. And next, what we do is actually, just like what I said, following the thread ID, we are creating the conversation, and any message we create as a user, any message we send in the chat, directly goes into the AI Foundry agent using chat message content. So that means that now we can actually build any type of agent we want in the Foundry and bring it over using the simple code. So to be able to run this experience, what you need is actually 2 things. These 2 things we mentioned here are required. The first one is project endpoint, and the second one is the agent ID. And this is what I added in the app settings JSON. If you go here, AI services, I have ID, project endpoint. That means my project is now ready to connect with my agent already. So in terms of the setup, we already started AZ login, which is necessary to be able to connect with my agent. And the following thing you should do is actually create a dev tunnel here, and you can go start dev tunnels and create a dev tunnel. I already have tunnel created for me. It's pretty straightforward. And here, instead of the playground, you should select Teams so you can actually experience the agent experience directly on Teams. If you hit start, and before you do hit start, you should actually right click Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit and make sure you select the right account here so that our agent is getting created in the same tenant that we want to test. This is checking the permissions, and when I hit continue, it should be there right away. I will hit start, and this agent should get started on Teams. So there are a couple of tips and tricks for you to test this agent on Teams. For example, if the browser opens, but if you see the Teams in a different account, I have multiple test environments, so I'm sometimes struggling to log in with the same account, the account I want. You can basically open the browser and log into Teams and see the agent you want test in the right tenant. And this is exactly what I'm experiencing right now. And that's why I have Teams open right here in the tenant I want. So this is my test tenant. And if you're struggling with this experience, what you should do is actually you should go to apps, manage your apps. And if you go to upload an app, you can select upload a custom app. And then next thing is just find your project, app package, build. And by selecting the app package of your project, you can get started testing your agent there right away. This really helps us if you're using multiple environments at the same time. As you can see, I tested this agent already, but we can actually do this from scratch together with you. So I have a bunch of questions we can use. For example, let's use a different question. Can I use Perk Plus to play both rock climbing class and a virtual fitness program? And now I'm expecting my agent to go and connect with my AI Foundry agent and bring the answer in terms of the documentation we have already integrated there. This is pretty important because AI Foundry actually provides us multiple resource types, multiple actions, etc. You don't have to structure all the things in the code-based environment. You can just test everything and create everything in the Foundry. The only thing we do here is just bring that experience into Teams. And the following weeks, I think in 2 weeks, we will have another session showing you how you can actually bring this experience into Copilot Chat as an agent. So this is actually all I wanted to cover, and these are the responses we are supposed to get from the agent. If you're interested in learning more, if you want to try it yourself, you can just go to ak.ms/Copilot DevCamp, and the build a custom agent section has all the exercises available for you. You can get started by yourself. So today we completed starting EcoBot and also configuring your agent with semantic kernel. The following community call, not next week, but the 2nd of September, we will have a session to show you the last exercise to bring your agent into the Copilot chat. So if you have any questions, I'll spend a couple more minutes in the chat. And I can now hand over back to Vesa.
Excellent. Thank you, Ayça. Really, really cool stuff, and great to have that step-by-step guidance in the documentation. It's great to see that Copilot Developer Camps keeps on evolving month after month. There's new stuff over there as well. So thank you, Ayça, on that one as well, and the whole team. Then, Bruce, it is your turn. We're heading to the EcoGuardian's homepage SharePoint portal, which is part of the SharePoint Hackathon, one of the really, really cool submissions in the spring 2025. Bruce, I can see you fine already. Screen sharing is starting. I think we're good.
Yeah. Can you hear
And
me?
I can hear you. Yeah, we are
Perfect.
good to go. Take it away.
So let's start. Thank you for inviting me to this presentation. So we come back to my contribution to SharePoint Hackathon, which was called EcoGuardian Lair, small agenda, who am I, context and constraints, component used, and the main part demonstration, of course. So who am I? I'm Bruce, I'm 44, and as you may guess with my accent, I'm from France, near of Paris. I used to have a lot of hobbies. I traveled a lot before. I was playing guitar in a band before, in a cover band. I dived. I was playing a lot of video games. Then I had a boy. So I'm a proud dad now. So main occupation, of course, is being a dad. But life is good. I can also start to travel again. I found another band with the parents of the school of my son. And I continue playing video games, even as you can see, there is more Lego video games as I play with my kids. So I do the same stuff as before, but with my son now. So that's good. I just stopped diving. He's too young to dive with me for the moment. So professionally, I've got 20 years of experience. I've been working for 12 years in a bank. So I started as a COBOL developer. I went to manager, etc. So many adventures. 4 years as management consultant, but I started to work on Microsoft for my company. I was the admin. I did the migration from Google Workspace to Microsoft for my company. So I started to learn a lot about Microsoft. And then I've been Microsoft 365 consultant for 4 years now. I started in 2021. My field of expertise, SharePoint, Teams, Power Automate, and more recently, it's about 2 years now, Entra and administration of tenants. Of course, I do also project management and change management. So if you need a consultant, I'm here. Now, let's go to the hackathon, the context and the constraints. So the hackathon, we were meant to create a nice portal page, a nice portal. So I started, why EcoGuardian Lair? This name may sound unusual. At this time, I was working for several energy companies. So I thought why I should do like I would do for one of the company I was working for. I asked Copilot, and he found me nice names, and the first one was EcoGuardian. I liked it. It also created a logo and advised me to use some fonts for the site. And as I love heroic fantasy too, a guardian, I imagine a big guy with a lair, with like a dragon with the treasure. So that gave the name EcoGuardian's Lair. I decided to apply some constraints because what my customers want is my goal is that they have a nice site, a beautiful site, but also a site that they use and that they update. It's the main point of an intranet. If it's not updated, it's dead. So I try to find the things that customers ask me regularly and to compile them to give a nice portal. So news highlights, links to business apps. So people love to have shortcuts on their main page. Events for the company, navigation to sites linked to the hub. I decided to use a hub format. Showcase for new recruits. It's something that comes often, and people want to showcase the new recruits so that people can contact them and know them, etc. User feedback form, of course, an intranet is living thanks to its user. So users can tell when content cannot be found, when something is not good, etc. And the main point was I just want to use out-of-the-box features. Generally, I don't work with IT. I work with business directions. So that I need to have something simple to maintain, and I want people to be able to make the intranet live. That's my main goal when I create SharePoint sites. And last, I wanted to have something where you don't have to scroll too much. I don't want to have a one-pager with a lot of scroll to do. I want to have the main information available immediately. So, sorry. The components I used, which I will explain them in the demonstration, so I will go quite quickly, but I try to use the new components, the flexible layout section, editorial card, and the updated one with the hero web part. Then I have the classical components that I use in every intranet I create because they are really handful and they are really nice to use. When we talk about something about, we talked about web parts, sorry, and I also use several features like the hub, security groups and audience. I will talk about that during my presentation, the brand center, and some advanced formatting for a list. Let's go for the demonstration and to the Guardians layer. So this is the main page of my site as seen by a user, a standard user. It's important because there is a small difference when you have edit rights on the site. So what I decided to do, let me know if you want me to zoom on the site because I have quite a big screen and maybe it's some part are small. I will zoom if needed.
It may be one step zooming, so.
Yeah. So just after I show you something, the first thing I do to, because I said I want to limit scroll, but I cannot put something, everything in the same page. So what I do each time, I try to find a way to indicate the user that there is more content below. So that's why you just see what's new at, and you see the first button here, so that the user knows that there are some content below. And just because many people, if you cut the content neatly, but don't let them know that there is some scroll, they think there is only one screen, and they don't think to scroll. Many of them you cannot imagine. So I will zoom now that I show that. So what I choose, I started to use the flexible layout content section because I didn't want to create I saw really nice example of pages, but I wanted to keep it simple. The advantage of the layout, even on simple configuration, it's that allows me to do things that I couldn't do before. This size of web part centered, it wasn't possible before. I had to choose between columns, size, etc. And it was either on the left or the right with the good size, or really small on the center, or really big. So with the flexible layout, that helped me to create some really pixel precise design. That helped me to integrate a list. That's a list here. I will show you how I did that. But before, when you wanted to use list, you had a lot of blank space around it that you cannot use. Now I will go to the edit part to show you directly, and I will zoom again. You see that the list component, it wasn't possible to have something just next to it. So this helped me to have the flexible layout to do that. I created also some waves to separate the different section. So it's in the background. You can do that either by creating a section that will contain a wave with the two colors of the bottom section and the upper section, or you can include it in the background. That's what I did now. I will show you. I've got a tool to create waves, nice waves, really easily. So first, the main news of the company, what is going on right now. I often use news web part with a specific site to let the communication direction put the news they want to put in a highlight. But the problem is they are always, when they use news, they are always have to reorder it to keep some news that need to stay longer, etc. So I prefer to put some slides using the new hero web part so that they don't have to spend their time moving news back and forth to keep them on the top page. Then many companies now ask to highlight their newcomers. So that's what I did. I will show you the list just after. Then I put news because this is the heart of the intranet. You need to have some news, and I took some quick links to direct users to the different sites of the hub. And on the right, I used the spacer to give some space because normally this should be there. Sorry, it moved. To give some space because I don't like to have too many things in a small space. So that lets the page breathe. It's better. And quick links to several business apps, and of course a form to ask a question or give remarks concerning the intranet. So you've got on this web page main information, newcomers highlighted, and access to your tools, and you can ask questions too. Okay, I don't know if you have any remarks or something you want me to deep dive a bit. Let me know. Then, next to that, this card changes. I also use a hub because it gives me several features that I like. I've got the main navigation that will be common to all the sites of the hub. You've got the search also that allows you to search for documents or content on all the sites of the hub at once. And it also allows you to gather all the information from the different sites linked to the hub on the main page really easily. So that's why I decided to use it. I also use the brand center because before you had to create specific theme and import it with PowerShell or any other way to import it. Now you've got the brand center that allows you to create new themes using fonts. So to access the brand center, you go to your organization settings in the global admin and brand center. Then you have to create, it explains you how to create the brand center site. Then you create your brand and you can choose fonts. That wasn't possible before. And now you can also create brand colors. So I decided to take the colors of my logo that is here. And I decided to create, after that, a font package for my SharePoint site and a theme. So before you only have one option for a theme, you can only have one primary color, text color, and background color. Now you can create, in fact, several models so that you can, if your logo and if your brand has many colors, you can easily create sites with multiple colors. And I've got a customer that just needed that, so that's perfect that this feature arrived now. Note that I decided to use the brand center to have a global theme for all my company, but you can also do that in the site branding, and you can do that at the level of a site. So I can create a theme, I can create a font package, etc. So to come back to my site. We'll go now to the list I created so that I can show you how I did that. It's people, it's here. So this list is just a really simple list. There is one column. It's a column of type person so that you can add contacts from your address book. You have to note before you could switch to list from list to gallery directly from the view with the new list display. You have to create a specific gallery view, else the formatting won't work. What I did, so there are two ways to create advanced formatting list. Either you go to the GitHub site, PNP list formatting, and you choose a model. This site, I think you put it in the links you shared before. But it's really a goldmine for when you look when you're looking for formatting. If for example if you need the FAQ, you can find something like that. There are many samples, and I think once I will have fixed my sample, I will add it to this library to contribute because I used it a lot before. But what I wanted to do is that I wanted to start from scratch because no template was satisfying me. And what I did, in fact, I started from a gallery list to get this part. I created a temporary image column so that I can have this placeholder, because it's complicated to create placeholders. So I will show you format current view. So I create some JSON. I think I have it, yes, in my Visual Studio. So I started with the tile formatting with SPCard formatter, container, sorry. So many tests to see if I can get the image from the user. You've got several functions to do that. If it works or not, and if it doesn't work, I create a placeholder that I got from the other list. So you see, what I always do is that I take something existing and I modify it to take it to cover my needs. And I just have the title and the email. I wanted to add other properties from the user, but I encountered difficulties. So that's why I don't know if I will manage to get other properties, or if before sharing this list formatting, I don't know if I will have to add columns to get the position, the phone, etc., because it wasn't working when I tried to do that. So I will complete it. But it allows you to have something nice with rounded corners and some shadow, etc. And it's less SharePoint design, so people like that. After that, the form. Any question? I created another list. Using a form, the advantage of the form is that this can allow people to create items in the list while they don't have permissions on this list. So it's perfect for gathering information. So just I created a little form, and I will show you the result here. Sorry, it's here. And that gives me some kind of ticket tracking tool. Basic, but it works, and people can also, with the view, create can move their tickets from one status to the other. What is interesting is that I used a property of the list, so it's in advanced settings, so that people, I will zoom a bit, can only read items that they created. So if I come back to my user, this one, if he goes to the list, set contents, he will go there, and it's questions. He will only see the ticket he created. So that's a good way to create really simply a basic ticket management program without coding. Last thing I wanted to show you is that I use the groups to give rights on the site. Let me show. That's what I do on every intranet I do. I never give permissions to single users because it's really complicated quickly if you start to give permissions to single users. And that will be my last, I think, as I see time is running. So site permissions. So I created an intranet administrators group to put people that need to administrate. And what I do is that I put this group as site collection admin on every site of the intranet, and I create other groups side by side to give site members the right to modify one site and not the other, because sometimes you don't want people to have the rights on all the sites. And for the visitors, generally, I put everyone except external users, except if someone doesn't want, he wants a more restricted people group, but generally I can use that. And what is good with the hub is that also you can synchronize permissions with all the sites that are linked to it, so that visitors from the hub can be given rights on all the sites automatically. You only have to manage your visitors at the hub level, and it will be synchronized with all the visitors for the other site. Of course, you can decide site by site if you want to have specific visitors. And of course, it only concerns visitors. You cannot have a general way to give write permissions on all the sites of the hub. It stays secure. And the last advantage of using groups is that it allows you to use audiences too. There is a question. I don't know if I just finished, and I will answer the question just after. Okay. I saw a hand right.
Okay.
So
okay. Please continue.
Yeah, I don't have. I will just finish. I wanted to finish with that. So the advantage of using groups is that you can use audiences. If you can see here in my menu, so I'm the admin of the site. I've got an admin link here, and I've got a new admin section has been added. I have a news, and this goes to a page. I create that often admin page in each site so that people that don't really know SharePoint, that don't know how to go to site contents, etc., they have quick access to everything they can modify. The pages, the list, and the tutorial for the document library, sorry. And I add some tutorials on how to use SharePoint. I create that quite often, and people appreciate that. But this admin page must be reserved to admins. So I created, of course, I changed the rights so that people cannot modify it if they are just visitors. And the good thing is that with audiences, I will come back here. In fact, people don't see the link, so that they don't have an error message while clicking on it. It won't add protection, but it allows them to see only things that are relevant to them. And also, you see the admin new. I removed it because it doesn't concern the visitors of the site. So you can use it if you have, for example, subsidiaries that communicate on a site, and you don't want all the people to see the news from the subsidiary, but just the people for this subsidiary to see the news. You can use audiences, and the same for the menus. You can determine what is displayed for what person. So everyone has the same homepage, but not exactly the same content. And to do that, there are two ways to do that. For navigation, you just go to navigation and you enable site navigation audience targeting, and you add audiences. Once it's activated, you can add groups here. It can be 365 groups or security groups. It works too. It's the same for the quick links. It's the same for the quick links. If I can go there. It's not this one I wanted. For the quick links, it's the same way of working. Okay, sorry. It's the same here. You activate audience targeting at the web part level, then you go on the specific link and you add audience here. For the events and the news, it's a bit different because you have to activate audience targeting. I'm sorry, don't know. It doesn't. I will do that if it doesn't work here. Okay, I will do that with the event. It's the same way of working, but so you activate audience targeting, but you cannot on each event or each new decide which audience will be there. So you go to the site pages, for example, for the news. So I will go to the site content. The site pages, and in fact, you have on this library, it works for the highlighting documents, etc. It's the same way of working. You go to the library settings, advanced setting, audience targeting settings. You activate the audience targeting, you click OK, and then it will add you a column that is audience. And then in this column, you add the audience you want to target, the audience or the audiences. And by combining this column, the filling of this column, and activating the audience in the news web part, it will display news differently. And I think that's all for me. So I don't know if you have questions or...
Excellent. Thank you, Bruce. From a timing perspective, I think we have like 30 seconds to close up the call, but really, really cool. So a lot of creative demos and creative ways of doing things with out of the box. Now, the JSON is not really code, but for a non-JSON familiar person, it looks like a code, but it is out of the box. And so it's not really compiled code, but it's kind of, yes, code.
It's copy-paste the code generally.
Yes, that is true. That's true. But really cool work, cool demo. Thank you, Bruce, on that one. A lot of great innovation and inspiration for other people to see what can be built with SharePoint. So really, really cool. Thank you, Ayça. Thank you, Bruce. Awesome stuff. If there's any question for Bruce, we will be here a few minutes, but we'll close up the call in a second for sure. Now, let me click one more time in here so I can get my slides. There we go. So next week, we will have the last community takeover on the Tuesday call. What it means is that we actually have 2 demos right now in the agenda, which are both community demos. And then starting from September, we'll be moving this Tuesday call back on as a Microsoft demos. And then Thursday call is the one for the community demos. And we're going to most likely merge the Thursday call, which is community demos, to a one call sequence, which helps to understand what is this all about. So Tuesday call, Microsoft demos, Thursday call, community demos, which is super easy to understand. But on 26th of August, Tobias, Guido, Nishka Link, and Emmanuel are going to show their Copilot Learning Center. Really, really cool AI-powered SharePoint Hackathon submission. Elena Burkers is here to talk about AI-driven archiving on SharePoint sites. That's a hackathon from Powerful Devs Hackathon in the spring as well. So awesome implementations to get inspiration on what is the art of possible within all of these scenarios. Now, in the meanwhile, we do have our Discord server. So if you are in Discord, we are closing in the 3,000 members in that server, which is great. So the engagement is growing all the time, which is awesome. We're trying to grow that even further. The more people we get to a single location, the more active it can be and more help we can get from each other from a one centralized location. So really, really cool. Also, we're always looking for feedback. So if you have a few minutes, go to AKMS Community Calls feedback. Let us know what's the cool kit. If you have any ideas how to improve the calls or any other suggestions, please fill in the form. That is always welcome to give us input to even further improve our execution. Now, for this call, the recording will be available within 24 hours in the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel at AKMS Community YouTube. You want to subscribe there today. There's a lot of videos, cool videos getting published over there, and Copilot AI, Microsoft 365 Power Platform, SharePoint, many other things on that one centralized location, making it super easy to follow up on the latest and greatest from Microsoft and community. But that's it for now. All of the community calls at AKMS Community Calls. If you want to download any of the invites, so that is a great location to know what's all happening here. But that is it for today. So thank you, Ayça. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everybody, being part of the community. We'll be back next week. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., Power Platform monthly community call. Thursday, 7 a.m. Pacific time is the SharePoint Framework community call. But this call, back in next Tuesday. Cheers, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.